Hey everyone, this is the week 7 discussion post. And my first notable nugget from this week comes from the video, The Danger of a Single Story. One of the things that stood out to me was when she said stereotypes are not untrue, but they are incomplete. They make one story the only story. I thought this was powerful because stereotypes that people make based off of one encounter with a certain race does not mean that it is the reality of the entirety of that race. I think that this is something that we all need to work on and strive to not be biased based off of what we grew up hearing. My second notable nugget from this week was from the video, The Power of Diversity Within Yourself. In the video, she talks about how identity should no longer be used to alienate people, but rather bring people together. I think this is a powerful statement because based off of the other resources that were provided, most people felt like they had no sense of belonging. They would say they were not welcomed in any place that made up their diversity and culture. This video is saying that instead of using diversity as a way to separate people, that we can use diversity to find commonality. My final notable nugget from this week was from the video, I'm Mexican. Does that change your assumptions about me? The most powerful thing she said within that video was have courage to admit when you don't know something and ask someone. I really enjoyed this statement because this is how we learn. Even as teachers, we are not always going to know everything that we are asked, so learning is essential for growth. I think the biggest struggle with this idea is that oftentimes people don't have the courage to speak up when they don't know something, which leads them to leading a life of uncertainty. Being that I grew up in Montana, we have had a large emphasis on learning about the Native American culture. We were required to learn about their culture every year for a couple of lessons. I put required in parentheses because many people felt the requirement and made a huge fuss about having to learn about a culture that wasn't theirs. On the other hand, I really enjoyed learning about their culture every year because it was different than what I was used to. I really wanted to tell the students that thought Native American education was a waste of time to think about how other cultures other than white felt about listening to our culture all the other days of the year, being that history has a large emphasis on white males. My senior year was my favorite year about learning about the Native American culture because they talked about the medicine in their religion. It was really cool to listen to because they actually burned some of the medicines that they use in their houses. I will show cultural humility by making an effort to figure out things that I don't know and clarify with people that do. I will also ensure that I'm using correct terminology and ask if I need clarifications. I will also focus on student learning or academic achievement, cultural competence, which is embracing your own culture while acquiring fluency and facility in other cultures, and the so what factor or critical consciousness. This idea is from the video Successful Teachers of African American Children by Gloria Ladson Billings. I think this idea would be successful for all students, and I need to lead by example, so my students will hopefully do the same. The artifact that I ended up choosing was my sunflower necklace. I was roaming through my room looking at things I use or wear every day to give me some inspiration. I was initially going to use my journal because I use this every day and I think it gives me a good sense of identity, but I felt as though it defined me instantly based off of what was inside of it. I felt that I needed to dig deeper and really be creative with the object that defines me. I then looked at my necklaces that I wear on a daily basis and saw my sunflower necklace and knew it was the artifact that I should choose. The sunflower necklace represents me in a multitude of ways. First of all, my roommate got it for me for my birthday, so it represents me in the fact of being a roommate. It holds a special place in my heart because it means that I will always have a piece of her near me. A sunflower is my favorite flower because of what it represents to me. My grandma used to always sing You Are My Sunshine to me when I was little, and I believe that a sunflower is a good way of representing what the song says. To me, a sunflower radiates brightness, and it is a symbol of that there is always light at the end of the tunnel. which is something that I have strived to look at, is to always find the bright in every bad thing. The necklace also has my initial on it, meaning that it represents me and the fact that it is mine. The necklace also came with a meaning, and it says, "You are my sunshine." The sunflower is a strong symbol of happiness. It radiates light and warmth. Let this charm remind you of the light and happiness you bring to those around you. This is something that I strive to do in all aspects of my life, and the necklace is a reminder for me to continue to do so.